All right, I do believe we're live. Just waiting for YouTube to tell me that we're actually live. So I'm not sure how you guys want to do this with StreamYard. Last week I did OBS, and it took forever for YouTube to actually put the video up on my channel. So I'm using StreamYard this week to see if just, if StreamYard, has it to where you're easily able to see it versus having to go through my past live shows and all that type of stuff. So I'm trying to avoid that because the last live show I did from OBS, I think it was a truck race at Richmond. It took like 8 hours for it to show up on my under my videos on my channel, and that basically made it kind of not really viewable for the general public. So, and I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do here. These projected finishes are my actual projected finishes, but other than that, I don't really want to. I don't want to give out too much to make it seem like the Patreon folks aren't getting what they deserve to see and everything. At the same time, I obviously want to show more here than what I was doing, and I'm going to talk for about 10 minutes about how I think this race is going to go. Then I'll start taking questions because I'll probably do a better job at that. I'm also feeling under the weather. Like I didn't even watch the truck race last night. I just kind of woke up and saw what happened. So I'm probably only going to go for like 45 minutes today. But during the races I look back at a little bit of Homestead. Didn't really count that because that was everybody's kind of first race back. Homestead's a different animal compared to Kansas. But I really looked at Atlanta and Las Vegas, a bit of just Homestead to see how people unloaded, see how poorly some guys were, see how bad some guys were. I'm not really going to focus on the Kansas races last year because the first Kansas race was, midweek. It was on Thursday. It started at 6:30 local time, basically turned into a night race. And then obviously the fall race last year was one of the coldest NASCAR races on record. And so I'm certainly not going to take the fall race. And also it's a playoff race. I talked about this a bit in my video this week, but it's a playoff race. And, you kind of don't have the scrubs or guys who don't have a chance to, either advance to a next round or have a chance to win the championship. Everybody kind of, makes room for the playoff drivers. And so I've never really liked looking at certainly how value has done in playoff races because, typically they're just trying to get out of the way for the championship guys. And, last spring race, or technically, in July or whenever they ran it, I just really didn't want to look at that type of stuff. I really wanted to look at, how these guys are running this year. And obviously Kyle Larson was top of the board. I also, on Patreon, I put in Harvick and Kyle Busch in here as well because I think that they have a chance of actually doing well. Specifically Kyle Busch. I'll talk about him first before I get into Larson stuff. So Kyle, you've seen him, he doesn't unload off the trailer really quick, but you've seen him get really fast late in the race at Las Vegas. He was able to gain a lot of positions, especially in the long run. I think that's when the car really came in. I mean, it's the same story that we're all used to. He's going to take the first stage to, get comfortable with the car. I think the truck race really helped him out last night. I kind of lied, I guess. I didn't watch the last 40 laps of the truck race. I did see the first half, and obviously, like right on the first run, Kyle was extremely loose in a turn 1 and turn 3, lost positions, and then gained it on Sheldon Creed again. And then, after he pitted, he kind of let John Henry Nemechek take the lead, then he passed him again. And then he got in the traffic again, went back up, and then he won the race. I guess I lied again. I kind of watched over the race again this morning. I didn't watch it live. But that's what makes Kyle Busch so amazing, that he can, he can have a horrible start to a run, know what he needs to do to the car, know what they need to do to the car. That's why they took those late race adjustments, and that's why he fell back in the field. And even Phil Parsons was like, man, I can't believe he's taken, he's making wedge adjustments and stuff because he had that fast of a car. And it's the same thing in the Cup Series. We've seen him, make changes and be there at the end. And I think 8,600 is a perfect price for Kyle Busch. I think he'll finish in the top 5 today. I have him projected for 6th in my projections, but I have, some fast laps baked in with him. And I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him finish 5th or 4th, certainly with how crazy this race is going to be, because we're going to see guys take 2 tires. We're going to see guys stay out on 2 tires. Kyle Busch's race last year was a fuel mileage race. He's certainly not going to win it, on pure speed. I imagine if he wins the race or finishes in the top 3, it'll be because of a pit call or just something different. But I certainly don't hate Kyle Busch there. I wanted to get him out of the way. Harvick as well. These rankings were done when I did the video on Friday, looking through the lap data for like an hour with you guys. I did more after that and on Saturday as well. Kevin Harvick, 9,100. The only reason I'm interested in Kevin Harvick is if he can get around Keselowski or Byron right off the start. I imagine, Keselowski and Byron are going to be there leading a good portion at the start of the race. I do want exposure to Harvick. I haven't finished all my lineups yet, but I'll probably have at least 10%, maybe 15% Harvick just because he's cheap and he's starting 4th. And the only guys he's competing with is Keselowski and Bowman right now, or Keselowski and Byron. So going back to the rankings, Kyle Larson, obviously the fastest car pretty much at both the races. I'm going to have a lot of Kyle Larson. That's just how it's going to be. Alex Bowman, same thing. I mean, Alex hasn't, completely dominated races. Obviously, he won Richmond, but he hasn't. No, there's nobody going to be a dominator this race. The highest projected laps that I have for a single driver is 52. I think it's going to be spread out between a lot of people. And that's actually Keselowski. But Alex Bowman should run fast laps. The Hendrick cars should run a ton of fast laps this race. I think most of the fast laps are going to go to the Hendrick cars. And the amount of place differential that these guys have baked into their, starting positions, where they are in their salaries. I mean, I still have them going over, 7X with Larson, with Alex Bowman. I mean, I absolutely love both these guys. These are both top 5 contenders, top 5 cars starting this far back. And we've seen them, and this is the difference of why people sometimes fade him. Let's say if Larson's supposed to start 3rd, they're cheating. He goes to the back of the field and he drives his way through, and he's in the top 12 by the end of first stage or something. Well, now it's the same situation here, except we just get the place differential points. And so I absolutely love Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman, and that's not me being safe or going for the place differential. I legit have these guys projected to be, top 5 finishers this race. And so usually if you're projected to be a top 5 finisher, you're going to luck your way. You're going to backdoor your way into either laps led or fast laps, things of that nature. Denny Hamlin came in 3rd for me. Stupid fast across the board. Every track this season, every race this season, he's been there. He's my 3rd favorite guy here in the rankings, just because like I said, I like the place differential that's baked into Larson and Bowman. And if all these guys, if I have Hamlin projected to finish 3rd, if I have Larson projected to finish 2nd, if I have Alex Bowman projected to finish 4th, same thing applies to Hamlin. He should get fast laps. He could lead laps. And this is a race where I think Hamlin will lead laps just based on his track history, although I don't see him leading, a crap load of laps, probably like 40, 45, somewhere around there. Chase Elliott's the next guy that really popped off to me when I was really looking through the data, because I haven't heard a lot of talk about Chase Elliott. I haven't watched a ton of videos this week, but I feel like Chase Elliott's getting forgotten. Obviously Homestead, Homestead was a really, really weird race this year. I can't really take a whole lot. Like, I don't want to put a whole lot of value into Homestead. Let's see, where are you at? Chase Elliott. Let's see, like, he finished 14th. He was never really in contention there, but he wasn't slow either. The 2 races, yet again, Las Vegas and Atlanta, the 2 that I'm looking at, he had a stupid fast car at Las Vegas. He had one of the fastest cars. It was like he was shot out of a cannon. And then he got damaged, and then he got spun out. He got involved in a wreck. Car was destroyed after that, and that's why it went away. At Atlanta, one of the fastest cars yet again. He was in there. He would have been in contention, but he blew a motor. And so having Chase Elliott at 10-4 is certainly cheaper than people like Truex, people like Logano, right? Let me just make sure I went blank. Yeah, he's cheap, slightly more expensive than Truex. Where's Logano? He's 11th. Yeah. So I like the upside that Chase Elliott has. And he's a guy that, he's not like a lone play I want to get to. He's the guy that I actually like. He just happens to not be being talked up as much as the other guys this week. And so those would probably be the 4 I'm going to focus on. I'm really concerned about Truex. I really, really am. I think he will get up in there and compete for top 5. But if you look at the restart data, if you've looked at how he's been running off a pit road, he either gets to lead or people stay out with 2 tires, or he loses, 2 or 3 positions on pit road, which is huge, huge, huge. When you're fighting a top 5, when you're fighting with top 5 cars, if you lose position on pit road, that's killing you on the restarts. That's killing you on the long runs. I'm really concerned. This is a guy that I'm worried about this week in looking at a race where I think pit strategies and guys who shouldn't lead are going to lead by staying out. And I think that really hurts Truex because he gets hurt by that on a regular basis, not just on a racetrack where that's, projected to happen. Same thing with Logano. Like I have absolutely no interest in Logano. I haven't finished all my lineups. I don't have him project do very well. Like right now I have Logano I'm getting 51.56 DraftKings points today, and that's just not going to get it done at 11,000 when I got other guys projected to do way better. I mean that's basically all place differential for Logano. I don't think he's going to lead laps. We saw that he got stuck in traffic. He gets stuck in traffic a lot. He really struggles. Like he really struggled at Las Vegas. Remember when it was Blaney and Logano Chalk Week, Las Vegas, and I didn't like him there. And then same thing. I mean, he struggled at Las Vegas, got stuck in traffic. His car was absolutely horrible in traffic. He's complaining about it. Teams complain about it. You can see it on the broadcast. It's not handling well at all. And then at Atlanta, they just missed the setup, and so maybe they take a big swing here. Maybe they improve their situation here. But when you have Hendrick Motorsports, on the ball, like they know what they're doing and they're only making changes to get faster. Logano and their team, they're fast on the shorter tracks and things of that nature, but their 1.5 mile needs a lot of work. And I'm worried about that. So Logano's probably my least favorite interest there. And then moving on to, yet again, lineup construction, things of that nature. If I'm trying to get in minimum like 2, possibly even 3 of these guys, because I'm going to have a lot of Alfredo. I really am. I'm probably going to have 60% Alfredo, 40% Justin Haley, just because those are the only 2 guys in the let's rank this here. Oops. Whoopsie. My bad. Where you at, bud? Oh. Either way, let me see. Give me a second here. I had the same issue with this last time. I had even when I recorded, for whatever reason on I guess I have a format on here that is just forcing it to go by the grid. So I do apologize by that. I thought I fixed it, but I guess I didn't, and I'm not going to waste time doing it here. But when you're looking at the salaries for today, like the only 2 guys in the 5K range, the only 2 guys at the very bottom that I want any ownership to, just based on how my lineups are going, is Haley or Alfredo, or you're staying in the 6K range this week, and then you're not really able to get 2 or 3 of these guys in a lineup. If your lowest guy in your lineup is somebody like Chase Briscoe or Chris Buescher, I mean, that's not a bad way to go about it, but you're building a really balanced lineup. Whereas I'm seeing the upside of paying for Alfredo, even if he busts completely. Like if he screws you over, it's not going to kill the lineup. He's only $4,500 unless he literally finishes last and gets you a ton of negative points. The upside is there. I still don't have him ranked. I don't know. Like it's more so, God, Alfredo, just please, dude, don't finish any worse than 28th, and I'll be completely happy with you. If you do anything better than that, I'll be happy. Right now, I'm projecting him for 24th, and I think that's a lot. I think he'll probably run 25th, 26th. And I talked about it in the video. It's basically if somehow Alfredo would magically dumb luck his way into like a 20th place finish, it's over. Like that whole 4K, 5K, he's the play there. If he finishes any worse than, say, really 25th, 26th, then there's an argument to be made that, well, Haley would probably be a little bit safer play. And then obviously if he finishes in the 30s, he's going to get you negative points, but I don't still think it tanks your lineup. Alfredo's certainly a play that I don't mind making at all. And then when you're building, let's kind of build it together. So let's say if I have Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman in a lot of lineups. This is a line that I'll probably be running a lot of variations of. So Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Anthony Alfredo, that's $8,000 left on average. If you look at who I like in the 6K range based on my projections, or if you have Patreon, or even just here in general, like the guys that I like in 6K range are going to be people like Ross Chastain. It's going to be people like Austin Cindric. It's going to be people like Daniel Suarez. And so when you're building around those, you can basically play whoever you want. You're not sure you might go in a chalky way. Even if you want to play somebody like Chris Buescher at $6,100, you're still got around $9,000 left to play whoever you want. I really think that's the way to build lineups this week. That's the way that the optimizer's liking it. And I didn't make it go that way. I just projected, the guys that I think are going to do well to go well or do well in that situation. So hopefully that kind of helps you out. I wanted to get that out of the way first. Hopefully that answered some stuff. And now I'll go through some questions here. So it'll take a while. I just want to get that out of the way because I feel like I do better if I can get things here. Yeah, it'll probably wreck. Hamlin chokes a lot. He really does. If you've listened to the Dirty Air podcast at all, you've heard me talk about how Hamlin is not a championship caliber driver when he gets there. Anytime he's there to get in the championship, anytime it's moves, like Bristol, Richmond, places not even to wreck someone, just move someone for the win. That's why you're not a championship, Hamlin. But he should score well today, DFS wise. Yeah, sorry, no Pierce here today. Andrew, he won't be back. Let's see. Oh yeah, that ice cream was good, man. That was really good ice cream. Thanks for Andrew. See, I could tell Andrew is a fan here because I'm talking about ice cream in my live show. And that got a lot of views. Like, is nobody else doing that? It's weird, man. It's a shame we lost. We had Pierce close it all down, man, because people want that type of stuff. I don't understand why he didn't get the donations. He didn't get the support that is there, because his stuff, no offense, all the big sites, but shit, he's got way better stuff, or he had way more resources than Roto Grinders, than Awesemo, and no offense to Phil or anything, that's just what it was. He had tons and tons of lap data and pit road data and easy to read. Unbelievable. I don't know what people wanted. It was ridiculous. Yeah, I think that's why pit road games are going to be so huge, because this package is horrible, and it's not going to get any better with the car next year. It's going to be as bad, but you can't pass at all here. In the live show on Friday, we looked at the last 4 races here at Kansas, specifically the last 2 here with no practice. Well, Brandon, I just thought you said you weren't using Kansas. Well, I did, in a sense of, how many leaders did we have? And in the 2 races last year, and this is including everyone, sorry for the crinkling paper. This is including every, this is including every leader last year, or of the last 4 races, and then actually leaders. So like, let me change it. Last year, spring race, we had 9 leaders, 6 actual leaders. Like the other 3 were like 2 laps, 1 lap. I'm kind of counting an actual leader, anybody who leads over like 10 laps or 15 laps. I think that's a real leader, not necessarily someone just staying out on a long run and leading laps. In the fall race, we had 11 leaders, and we had 4, major leaders. Other guys with, lead laps being kind of spread out between the other guys there. And so that's why I don't really have anyone projected to lead over 52 laps. I think every caution we're going to have a different leader. I really do. And that helps people starting in the back. That hurts people starting up front. That's just how it goes. Let's see. All right, Ace, I already answered this one here. Let's see. I mean, that's the situation we're in, man. That's the situation we're in. And I mean, that same lineup that I kind of talked you through, if you want to play 2 or 3 of these guys, it's looking like Alfredo. I think that's just it's a real chalky week in terms of value. Like, if Alfredo's high, then ownership should be spread out up there. That's kind of why I'm saying, like, hey, Chase Elliott, is a guy that I kind of like. Like if you want to throw Larson and Elliot together, Bowman and Elliot, maybe those three. I mean, that's how you got to find ways to be different, because the upside of here, let's change it right now. So like if Alfredo, and I talked about this in my thing as well, but I'll go over it again. So like Alfredo, he starts 22nd. If he doesn't gain anything, he's 16 points. If he loses one, he loses one position. My bad. If he holds where he's at 20. If he loses one position, he's at 18. If he loses two, he's at 16, which is what I got him projected. If he loses three positions, it's 14. If he loses four positions, it's 12, which is yet again getting to this. Okay, it's not going to probably be optimal, but it still doesn't kill you. But if he somehow manages to like gain positions, it's just absolutely over. Like he's the only play pretty much below, I would honestly say below like 5,900 to play if he finishes where he should be, or finishes where he starts. He's going to outscore McDowell. He's going to outscore Parise. He's going to outscore LaJoie, even if he doesn't. LaJoie's $1,000 higher. What do I have LaJoie projected at? And this is an example of why Alfredo put you in a rough position. I have LaJoie projected for 18 points right now. I have Anthony Alfredo projected for 12, but you're paying 1,000 more points for those 6 points, or you're paying $1,000 more for those 6 points. That's not a fair pay up. Garrett Smithley is not going to outscore Alfredo unless he gets in like the 20s, which Alfredo finishing 22nd is much easier than Garrett Smithley finishing like 26. I mean, a lot of things got to go haywire. He's going to outscore Matt Mills. Justin Haley, I have Justin Haley right now projected for 20 points, but he's a bit more expensive. He's $5,100. So if you don't have that $600 to spend up for Haley, you're just going back to Alfredo. That's how it is. I'm not concerned. Like if Alfredo crashes, or if he messes up the line, I'm not concerned about it. I'm much more concerned about other guys not doing their job. Larson not doing well, Bowman not doing well, or somebody leading the entire race. Someone like Keselowski or something. Like what if Keselowski stays up front the entire time? Well, I'm not going to do well because I don't have that much of Keselowski. I think Keselowski gets outscored by a lot of guys. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here? Let's see. I lost where I was at. Let's see. I apologize. Savar, Holmes, and Purdy weren't the punts. Well, I heard something happened to Fogelman. There. I had $200 in lines and came back with 160. I didn't see what happened there. Purdy scored 15 points. Holmes did 20 points. All right. Either way, man, it's a truck race. Those guys suck, man. I got no confidence in anybody in the truck series anymore. They're all horrible. Let's see here. I'm thinking about going heavy on Bell. No. Same thing. Like with the lineup that I was just saying, I kind of told you that you had anywhere from like 9,000 to 8,000 left for your last two drivers. I mean, Bell fits into that easily. Kyle Busch fits in that easily. That's kind of why I like these guys more. I'd much rather play Bell and Kyle over people like Custer, Reddick, even Almirola, like at 8,400. I'm not convinced on Eric Almirola. I might miss it on this week. I mean, if you look at how Eric has performed this year, okay, sure, he made it work at Richmond. Martinsville finished 20th. Atlanta finished 20th. Phoenix 11th. Las Vegas 38th. Homestead 30th. I'm not sold on Eric Almirola. What do I have him projected for right now? Maybe 18th is being too much. If you want to bump that up like 14th or 12th, but Eric Almirola finishing 12th, or Christopher Bell, fighting for top 5. I'd much rather go with Christopher Bell. I'd much rather go with the higher upside. I think Eric Almirola is safer. I just probably won't go in that direction. Here, let's see here. What else do I got? Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. I'm very, very disappointed, man. That's a huge loss to the industry. And not just for his sheets. I mean, Pierce is a great guy. I really like him. And he told me around noon, and I didn't put it together, that he was going to end it on the 30th, like that night. I thought, okay, man, maybe at the end of May. And I was like, man, dude, that's crazy. Very sad. I know some of my guys in my Patreon where we're going to send around 10% of whatever we win this week his way, just as a thank you for everything he's done over the last, quite a few years. I wouldn't be here without his help. Let's see, Blaney. Yeah, I haven't talked about Blaney a whole lot. So I have Larson project, and this is why I need to talk about these guys first. I have Larson projected for 92 points today. I got Bowman projected for 75. I got Hamlin projected for 81. I got Ryan projected for 58. That's me giving him 25 laps led to and being really generous with fast laps. I think he gets outscored. And if it's anywhere between, 15, even like 20 more points, and if I'm not having any issue getting, Hamlin, Bowman, Larson lineups, I don't think I'm going to use Blaney. Like my issue with Keselowski and Blaney, and even Harvick to an extent, and Byron as well, my issue with the front guys is the guys with so much place differential in the back are the same guys that are going to compete for wins. Kind of what I said earlier. If they're competing for a top 5, they're most likely getting fast laps and laps led as well. So even if, say if Larson and Blaney both lead 30 laps, but Larson finishes 7th and Blaney finishes 6th, Larson wins, on pure place differential there. And so for Blaney to work, for Keselowski to really work, he needs to dominate, or he needs, Larson, Bowman, Hamlin, Chase, even people like Logano, Truex to really have a rough day. And he can still score well. I'm trying to talk optimal here. Yet again, you can still score well and not have the optimal lineup. It's not just optimal or bust here. I don't think Keselowski's optimal, but I think playing him isn't like a bad thing. Hopefully that makes sense. I think I'm going to be heavier on Keselowski between those two, but I'm going to have ownership to both, but they're probably going to be in the range of like 20 to 25 for me. Yeah, I kind of already answered that. So Kurt Busch is interesting here. Let's move down. So he's 9,300. If you looked at how Kurt has ran this year, these Chip Ganassi cars are pretty trash. And it's really showing what they're doing here. So looking back at Homestead, obviously he finished 8th there. Las Vegas finished 19th. In Atlanta, I got wrecked at Atlanta, but he was running like, what was he, like 14th or 15th there? And so am I really going to pay 9,000 or, almost 9,300 for Kurt Busch, to where it's kind of the same situation as Logano, to where I think they get trapped in traffic and kind of finish or run anywhere from 15th to 10th all day. And that's kind of a stretch for Kurt Busch. So I do have a lineup with him right now. That's kind of my all place differential lineup. People like Stenhouse as well. I'm concerned that these guys kind of just get stuck at like 15th, 16th, 17th. And that kind of hurts your line when you could have, like I said, going back to 3 of these guys and then paying for somebody like Chastain. I'd much rather have Ross Chastain than Kurt Busch, as I think they have very similar upside. And I think they should run very close together here. And Chastain's such a huge discount off of him. Same thing with Suarez. I would much rather go to the 6K range than going to people like Kurt Busch, people like Eric Almirola, people like that. So, that's about it, I think. I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about. You guys can start leaving questions and I'll start answering them for the next, give or take 15 minutes. But I think I did a good job at presenting what I think I'm going to do. Yeah, the Alfredo thing, look, I make dumb plays all the time. Like every week I'm trying to play low owned guys, or I'll throw a guy that looks absolutely hideous in lineup. Like the Alfredo is certainly not the dumbest thing I've ever done. Or even, like I'm not really concerned about Alfredo this week at all. I'm really tempted. Like I'm really tempted to go over the field on Alfredo and play like 2 lines with Haley, because I'll probably play like 12 or 10 lines today. So if I do 8 lines with Alfredo and 2 with Haley, I still think those other lines are fine if he gets darn close to 0. They certainly won't take down a contest, but I think they'll certainly still cash, and then I'll just have Haley there in case, Alfredo really has something bad happen. Yeah, we kind of just talked about Stenhouse a bit. I have Stenhouse kind of being harsh on him, I guess. He's starting 23rd. He could go either way. Like he could run top 15. He could be stuck in the 20s. Right now I'm giving him 16th, but that's kind of just how it is, Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm much more concerned about Stenhouse than I am Alfredo, things of that nature. I think in my last projections I was giving him like 25th for like 15th, and I think that's, let's see here, what do I got him? Yeah, I got him for 16th right now. Could go either way. I'm really nervous. He's 8,200. Like I really got to go out of my way to get Stenhouse in lineups. And when I was building him with the builds that I was going with, I wasn't getting the Stenhouse. Like I had to purposely like really bump him up for the optimizer to go there. That's why if you look at my projections, I'm giving him 15 DraftKings points. Like Brandon, that's crazy. Why are you giving him for 25th? Because I really had to like give him like 9th, 8th place for the optimizer to be like, okay, I'm going to go out of my way to get Stenhouse in lineups versus going to people like Kyle Busch versus people going like Christopher Bell. So, if you're looking at my projections through Patreon, that's why I have Stenhouse projected to be so low, because I had to keep bumping him up so high to get him in. I was like, okay, well, like it's obviously, I don't think it's going to work, but that's probably how it'll be. What's going on, Jason? Thank you for hopping in here. Yeah, that was at Martinsville. That was Malicki. But a lot of things happened there because he started darn near, I think he started 36th or 31st, and just everybody wrecked. But yeah. That's why I'm saying like Alfredo is so different. This isn't like a 4,500 or this is exactly like a truck race. What am I talking about? This is like Chris Wright starting 21st, projected to finish 24th. If he does that, he'll work. This isn't like, Jesse Iwuji starting dead last, hoping that he gains 10 positions. All Alfredo has to do is not be stupid, I wish he would have stayed in Xfinity, because I think this is really going to hurt his career prospects. Oh yeah, I think BJ McLeod did as well. Although, I've been playing, punts every week pretty much. I always have 1 or 2 lineups with him. Like I played Quinn Hoff at Atlanta. He wasn't horrible. I think he was my second highest lineup. So that's why I'm not concerned with Alfredo. Like he might not be optimal, but I think those lineups with Alfredo are going to be fine. I'm scared I'm going to talk myself into just more and more Alfredo to where I just say screw it and play 100% of him, which I might do. Who knows? We still got to think about it there. I mean, I'm projecting him to finish 26th, 27th. I think that's where he's going to finish, really. He's a kid who has a lot of talent, who left his RCR ride to chase the title of a Cup Series driver. He has absolutely no practice in cars that he's never ran before. Briscoe's going through the same thing, just because people, categorized Alfredo as fast pasta, and I always thought that was stupid because he wasn't the fastest car out there. I mean, I'm serious. We got to call him like Ramen Noodle Man or something, because that's all he is, man. That's all he is. Well, when I got Kyle projected for 92 points, people like Hamlin projected for 81, Alex Bowman projected for 75, even people like Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch 42, 53 for those guys. People like Ross Chastain for like 34 points. When it's things like that, like 14 points will not be optimal. I don't think it'll be optimal at 14 points, but it won't kill you. If he gets like 20 points, if he finishes 22nd, 21st, certainly 20, anything above 20th, he's optimal. 21st to 20th could be debates on what happens in the race to get him the optimal lineup. 20th or 22nd, same thing. 23rd, 24th, 25th, I don't think he's optimal. But like I said, he can score you well. Anything past 27, he's not going to be optimal, but I don't think that kills you. Hey, exactly, man. Ramen noodle Alfredo. Can we get that? Can somebody DM him that, hey, you're a ramen noodle man now. Change your last name. We're going off the rails here. Let's see what else. Is Alfredo and Haley in the same? I think, let me look at these. I think the optimizer wanted to do that. And that's a bit too much for me. Yeah, the optimizer wanted to do that yesterday. So, like that's when we get in situations where I don't think they both work together. Because I got Haley projected for 20. I got Alfredo projected for 12. 32 points for two drivers. That's a bit rough. I think I'd probably remake the line if I'm like that, just because I think that severely limits your upside unless this is a wreck fest. And then, Alfredo seems like a team that if they're somehow still on the lead lap in stage 3, they seem like a team who would stay out or who would take 2 tires, that's just how I would look at it. Yeah, Taco, we miss your podcast too, man. Everybody I liked, everybody that I grew up listening to, they're either behind the paywall or they don't, I can't really listen to them anymore. So that's how it is, man. That's how it is. Any last questions here? 68 people for just me. I do appreciate you guys tuning in and everything. That means quite a bit. Well, like I said, we'll stick around for another 5 minutes answering anything you guys want to talk about or look at. But yeah, Alfredo is absolutely the least of my concern this week, man. I don't really care what Alfredo does. Can't be any worse than some other calls I've made. What do you think of the 6K range? So let me bring this up. Let me open it up. Let me go over here. Let me look at one last thing. And we'll talk about the 6K range here. All right, let me see. Also, since Pierce isn't doing his stuff anymore, I'll probably start adding a lot of things that he did, like an FPPK ranking and stuff like that. Like that's also another reason why I didn't add a whole lot of things, is because Pierce is already doing that. There was no need for that. There was no demand for that. If he's not here, I feel like certain information like that is too important to leave out. So like Austin Cindric, I got him right at 4.9 value. I'm probably being a bit too harsh on him. Where do we got good old Cindric finishing up on your screen here? Get him 23rd. Might be a bit high. I think he'll round out around 24th, 25th. But I would count Cindric as a 5x play. He's 4.92 right now, but I would count that as a 5x. Like he's going to get you 5x value. Let's see, Chastain. Where we got good old Chastain at? I got him at 5.3 value. I got Suarez. I got him at a 4.1. Buescher, I expect him to be chalky. Let's see where I got him at. I got him 5.3, but I think Buescher is going to be extremely chalky. I really do. Like I think I would much rather try and get as much Chastain, Suarez, even Briscoe more than Buescher, just because I think a lot of people are going to use Chris Buescher. I really do. I think he's going to be very popular. And if Chastain can show up and pull another Atlanta, I think we'll be fine with Chastain there. Briscoe, that's where we get a bit rough. What do I got Briscoe for? Where is Briscoe? Oh, I got him for 3x. That's why. Yeah, I got him finishing 21st. That's kind of my opinion of the 6K range, things of that nature. How long do you think it takes these guys to get back to the lead? In terms of the... Actually, hold on. I missed some questions here. What I think 6K range, Shocky Bills look like you're using 3 of them. Yeah, but I mean, I think that's how it is. Like, it's weekends like this to where it's just kind of chalky, but that's fine. That's just how it is. Yeah, I feel like the 7K range is rough. Let's take a look at the 7K range. Let's talk about that really quick. That's really, really ugly. So you got Eric Jones. What is Eric Jones? That car. You got to take that by the part, man. You got Old Yeller, man, that 43 team. Matt DiBenedetto. Good Lord. If you want to talk about Alfredo having to hold on to his position, Matt DiBenedetto needs to hold on to 5th place the entire race. Same thing with Dylan. Ryan Newman, $7,400. Why would you pay $7,400 instead of just paying, $6,100 for Chris Buescher? I think yet again, I think that's why Buescher is going to be pretty chalky. Bubba Wallace. Have I been wrong so far this year? Look, the dude's throwing fits. He's getting depressed. He's sad. Jordan's putting too much pressure on him. Now he's pulling things out of the NFL and NBA of, I'm too good to talk to people now. And then he lies about it. Be like, I didn't know you wanted to interview me for a race. Oh, like, Bubba's, this is who he is. Let's look at Kyle Larson and Chip Ganassi car. Kyle is wheeling that hunk of junk to wins and top 5s and top 10s. Then you got Eric Jones, who's always had a good ride, and now he's in a bad car, and we're seeing, really who he is. Same thing with Bubba Wallace. Never really had great cars. Won in the Truck Series race, but that's not really much. The last 10 years, that doesn't really mean much. Now he's in a great car, and he's still kind of running where he was. So don't think Bubba is a good play here. Cole Custer starting 10th. No way that's going to happen. Tyler Reddick hold on to 11th. Now we kind of get in, but that's out of the 7K range. Then you get Cindric and Chastain and Suarez, and so that's it again. Going back, that's kind of why the 7K range is kind of dumb, kind of lame, and a lot of things have to happen for that 7K range to really work out. Thank you, Frederick. I do appreciate that. Let's see. I talked about Buescher. Going back, we've seen, the guys in the back, especially Hendrick, when they start in the back, they're usually up to the top 12 by the stage or by the competition caution, or even if he's not, I think Larson will probably be around 20th, 18th, unless they just mess on the setup, but I don't think they will. Same thing with Bowman, Hamlin. I think these guys should get up to the top 10 before the competition caution or be right outside of that. Excuse me. So I don't see him leading probably before the end of stage 1, maybe certainly in stage 2. That's when I would imagine a lot of these guys are leading, but those place differential points, you need, 4 laps led is equivalent to a place differential point. When you got these guys baked in for 25 place differential points, the guys ahead to outscore them really has to lead a lot of laps. Let's see. Man, it's a lot of work, man. A lot of people don't know that. I think people understand, but when they know it's a lot of work, but they don't really know how much it is. Yeah, this race is gonna be single file, man. We got all our side by side last week at Talladega. I have no clue, man. I have absolutely. I think the only one I can probably say, probably 2 drivers would be probably Alfredo and Chase Elliott, but and Chastain. I'll probably have more Chastain than probably the field will, but I've done that so far this year. That's just kind of how it's been. Thoughts on Reddick? Kind of already talked about him. Yeah, I think it is more. Especially those green flag runs really helped him. We saw a lot of people get speeding penalties and have bad pit road at Las Vegas, and somehow Jones didn't have that. I answered that. Yeah, and that's certainly certainly a byproduct of that. I think the same thing, like whenever you see an accident on the interstate, everybody's always like, "Oh, somebody else is going to call 911," and then nobody calls 911, and the family dies in the car. Kind of same thing there, but it's yeah. I know Big Papa is still active on Twitter. He'll talk every now and then, but like I said, they haven't made. I know of them. I've talked with them. I've talked with Jamie and Papa here and there, but not necessarily enough for me to do anything. Certainly not enough. I mean, even with Pierce, like I don't answer questions related to like what he does in general, just because I'm not going to share that type of stuff. So it's not like I'm like a gossip guru or anything like that. But yeah, man, like a lot of. I'm going to say right now, Pierce had better content than Osimo, Roto Grinders, Chris Pinnell, Nate Lane, myself. Unbelievable. I can't believe it, man. Unbelievable. And that is no shame or shade to any of those people, but that's how good those resources were. And I was messing around Friday night, messing around trying to get lap data in, and I can get it, but I really got to mess with it to make it look pretty before I make it public or anything like that. Because there's some place you can get it, but God, it's a pain in the ass to organize it. The people who want the information are going to use it. It's the same. It's the same. Like, I don't care about routes run in the NFL. I don't care about cash percent. Like, I don't care about that. I just don't care about the sport enough. People who liked it, like the information. Yeah. And then people just want the picks. That's all it comes through. Same thing with me. Like if I was really lazy, like I love talking about NASCAR. I got 78 of you guys listening to me. So thank you for that. I love talking about NASCAR. I don't like the sport, but I love the aspects of it. Or I don't like the organization. Let me change that. I love racing. And if I wanted to, I could do a 2-minute video on each race. Don't give any context. I would just give out the picks, and I'd probably get the same amount of views. Yeah. Yeah. I try my best to plant my flags and at least say, who I like and stuff like that. And I still get shit on Twitter for it. But I mean, I try and be as transparent as possible. I think DraftKings changing the laps led to 4.5 is helping get less ties and less splits up top. This seems like a race very similar to Auto Club last year. I really think it's very similar to Auto Club, to where, kind of everybody's going to the same people. It should be, everybody should be able to predict kind of what the optimal or what the winning line should look like. It'll just really depend on what ugly values come through, either with people staying out or taking 2 tires. And you're going to see plays that work that are just absolutely ugly that I'll probably miss on, that people will miss on, just because, like Reddick, RCR, for an example, they got that stupid algorithm. They got, never mind. They got the 2001 A Space Odyssey AI robot. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, but they got that telling them when to pit, when to take 2 tires, when not to pit. So like, it's going to be plays like that, or like somebody like Priest, or somebody even like Bubba Wallace, they're staying out on 2 tires. We got a green, white checkered, field wrecks behind them, or they stay out and, they luck their way into like a 6th place, 7th place finish. And that's what's going to really change the optimal lineup. That's what's going to change the winning lineup at the end. But yeah, I think it'll probably split in chunks. Like there'll probably be like 2 people that have that ugly punt that probably win. And then you have from like third, like 33rd with the same lineup, and like 33rd to 87 with the same lineup. I would think that's how it's going to go. Probably with more single guys and not as many ties, but I think that's how it would go. Let's see. Yeah, man. Yeah. NASCAR is WWE. It really is, man. It is not the top 40 drivers anymore. Like, I mean, for crying out loud, look at this field. Not a top 40 driver in the U.S., even 30, not top 39, not top 30. No. Yes. No. I'll say yes. Yes. No. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Chastain is not a top 40 driver in the U.S. Stenhouse, I'll argue his talent. Alfredo, no. Suarez, no. Hamlin, yeah. Briscoe, no. Alfredo, no. Elliot, I'm going to say no. Buescher, no. Truex, not anymore. Newman, certainly not. Wallace, no. Priest, no. Reddick is not a top 40 talent in the U.S. Custer is not a top 40 talent. Kyle Busch is. Bell is. I'm going to say Blaney, no. Dillon, no. DiBenedetto, no. Harvick, yes. Matt DiBenedetto, no. Byron, no. Keselowski, yes. So what is that? Like 10 drivers out of the 40 are the premier drivers. Like, that's why I'm so, I don't really care about these drivers at all. I think I've covered enough here. Went on for 50 minutes. I think we talked about everything. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll start trying to do this more often. I struggle to do it by myself. I feel like I'll just keep ranting like I just did there. Yeah. And so I'll end on this. Like, the FIA has their, license and everything here, but it's basically just NASCAR choosing who can be in it. Like Jennifer Jo Cobb not getting in, but we get to have, Cody Ware with basically no experience, Quinn Hoff, basically no experience. Like, it's all money driven. It's whoever brings the money in, whoever's bringing the ratings in, it's not old school racing. But that's just how it is, guys. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. And best of luck today. Check me out on Patreon if you want to support the channel. I got a PayPal link in the description below. So thank you guys for watching. Best of luck, and we'll see you guys next week.